Hey cuties, PeachY here, welcome back to a new video, and in this video we are going to be ranking all of the new Mansters in the G3 Monster High animated series. So let's get into it. So there are 8 Mansters in total that I can recall. I don't think there's any more characters aside for, I guess, background characters, but they don't really count. So we have 8 Mansters so far introduced in the G3 animated series, that came out last year. Gradually, we've been getting more boy characters, more Mansters, as we call them in the Monster High universe. And we're going to be starting off with the, I guess, lowest to highest. So in 8th place, we have Romulus. That's his name, yes. So Romulus made his first appearance in the episode segment called Part of the Pack or something, where Claudine tries to get closer with the, werewolf pack at Monster High, which includes Romulus and Barchimedes. And Romulus is like the captain. He's like the pack leader. So he's like the boss. And so they kind of pranked Claudine, and that's where I believe he got his first lines. Now, he had more to do in the other episode where Howleen actually has her debut. And basically they wanted to steal Claudine's necklace, moon claw necklace, amulet thingy mabob, because they needed to enhance his powers so he can be the new werepack leader, also over, like, I guess also over the werecats. I don't know, I'm not sure. Like, they had this whole thing with like the werecats versus the werewolves, and apparently Torlai's mom is like the werecat leader and something, so like something to do with that. And that's they needed the amulet because it gives the person who wears it enhanced strength. So it didn't work out, obviously, but that's basically all we've seen him do so far. So I've obviously ranked him lowest because he hasn't had much to do, which is funny because you would think he's like the leader, he has stuff to, like, he's important, but as we'll get to Barchimedes in a second, even he had more to do in later episodes. So yeah, he is the lowest, just because I really don't know enough about him. But I have to say the design for him looks better here. He actually looks like a teenager. In the G1, obviously, he did look very, like, almost middle-aged. Like, just like some of the designs, girl, like some of the designs in G1, like, I know I love it, like, it's nostalgia and it's always gonna be, amazing, but like, girl, some of the designs, like, really, it's like you're not age, like, appropriate. So I'm happy that here he looks his age, you know what I mean? So it's great, even if the hair is a little bit over the top. But anyways, next up at 7th place we have Finnegan Wake. Yeah, that's his last name, right? Finnegan Wake. I sometimes I forget that some of these characters have last names, but Finnegan, he was a surprise addition. He had his first appearance in the episode where Frankie, you know how we got this little glimpse of DG1 Frankie outfit in like a hologram. That's the episode where Finnegan got a little speaking segment. I'm not sure the name of the episodes, I don't know them all. Obviously there's like double the titles for every episode, since like there's 2 segments for each episode, but it basically had to do with like the fear book, taking the picture for the yearbook, for all the students, and so Frankie wasn't sure of like how to present themselves, and so they tried to copy other people, but it didn't work out. And so they went to Finnegan as well, and they tried to play the instrument, but obviously it didn't work out. And then Finnegan had a little speaking line there, and he sounded really nice, and his design is really awesome. So I think he was a really surprise addition for G3 coming in so early, but definitely a very welcome one. He's really low here because he has had only like one line. And then he also had some lines in the dance episode with Draculaura and Claude, like they had a dance off. He had some speaking lines there with Laguna, and Laguna and him, they are cousins now in G3, so that's also something new. But he really needs to have more lines, because so far he's had more cameos without speaking lines than he's had actual scenes where he talks. So a little bit of a shame, but it's Finnegan. He looks amazing, so hopefully in the future we'll get to see more of him in action. At 6th place, we have Barchimedes. He's obviously one of the members of the Werepack group, with the Werepack at Monster High, right? Now, why is he so high up here? I mean, you could say he's just a bona fide, like sidekick. Like he's like the cliche, comedic relief. Like, so yes, yes, he kind of is. But why? The reason he's up here is because he had a whole segment in that horror scare episode plot, where we got to see Clanky come true. He had a whole segment just by himself. Like no Romulus, no Howleen. It was just him solo, just a little plot line, like B plot line with Torlai. So that surprised me because, obviously you would think out of the Werepack, Howleen and Romulus would get more screen time, but nope, they gave it to Barchimedes, and it definitely helped to flesh out his character, which is what the other characters of Howleen and Romulus also need. But that's why he's up here, because you grew to know him more, and he's so lovable. Like, yes, he's a little bit of an airhead. He doesn't have much going on up there, but he's so sweet. Like I don't know, he's just like cute. I just really like the interaction he had with Iris. I don't know, it's just really cute. I think he's like a very lovable character, especially because we got that segment of just him in that horror scare episode episode plot. So that's why he's up here. But obviously, if we had known Romulus a little bit more, it would have been harder because, I just don't know enough about Romulus. Unlike with Barchimedes, I can tell more about his character now. So now at 5th place, it gets more interesting. We have Manny Taur. Now, he obviously made his first appearance in the Claude debut episode, actually. So that's where he kind of got introduced. He got speaking lines. He helped out with the library segment, and you really got to know him more, and you got to get used to him as a new character, because obviously he looks different. He sounds different. He's basically a different character. He is now exactly the type of character that G1 Manny would have bullied. He would have totally bullied him if he could have in G1, but these are like total opposites of characters in terms of like who they are. G1 Manny was like a jock, a bully, and in G3 Manny is he's a book nerd. He likes to read. He works in the library. He's not a jock. So it's completely opposites, but I think they really did a good job at still keeping what makes Manny, the same. But it's just now he has different interests and different, situations where he is most comfortable in. So the reason why I put him in 5th place is because I think he has a really lovable personality. We got to know him a little bit in that episode, and I just love his design. I love the voice actor, the performance. I think it's a very unique and very original take on Manny, and I can't wait to see more of him, because so far, besides for that episode segment, he hasn't really appeared too much. So here's to hoping that he'll have more appearances, like actually, and not just as a background character. Now at 4th place, we have Heath Burns. Yes, the same Heath Burns you're seeing on screen. Now, because let me make something clear. We are ranking these characters in terms of personality, character development, how well are they written, like are they a realistic portrayal of how a character should be written? Like, it's not in terms terms of looks. So we're not doing like a design ranking because that would be different. But I guess controversial opinion, I actually like Heath. I think he's a good guy. He's okay. I think it's just the design was, they did him dirty like a little bit. Yeah, I think to me personally, it's not even like really that bad. Like I've gotten used to it. I don't think it's like horrible. I don't think it's atrocious. Like I'm still here, alive. I'm not blind. Like I think I'm like okay. Like, you know, I don't think it's that bad. Like, do I think it's like a little bit lazy with like the actual outfit? Yeah, sure, it could be more interesting, but we could also say that about a lot of the Mansters outfits, and in general about G3, like a lot of outfits do feel a little bit basic, but that's beside the point. I put Heath in fourth place because he has some of the best scenes, you know, comedic relief scenes in season 1. I think whenever he's on screen, to me, I think it's enjoyable because it's always entertaining. Like you can always count on entertainment when he's on screen. Like he has funny lines, he has funny gags, he has like funny you know, like slapstick humor. Like he literally falls out a window into a dumpster truck, and they literally say, Claudine literally says, "Oh, that's a dumpster fire." Like that's to me that's funny, you know. And then like it's just, there's a couple of moments where he's just like really funny. So that's why to me he really shines. He really shines bright. Again, if you don't like his design, that's completely understandable. I also don't think it's like the best, most unique, most groundbreaking design ever, but that's not like, to me, it doesn't take away from how he's actually written as a character and how he's actually performed with the, you know, voice actor. Like I think the performance, the character development, you know, the little we've had for Heath, I think it's really strong. Again, because we've only seen so little of him, that's why it's really remarkable, because every scene he's in, at least to me, it's in my mind. Like I don't forget those scenes. Like it's just something about him, it makes him memorable, like to me at least. I know I'm in the minority, but I think we should give Heath a chance. He it's not his fault he looks like this, you know. He has a good heart. I think he's a good guy. Now in the third spot we have Gillington Webber. Now I do realize that I just said that we're not ranking these characters in terms of design, so I'm kind of a hypocrite, but but I had to, for Gil, it's an exception, because Gil, the redesign is just really something else. Like he looks different. He doesn't even look like himself anymore. Like G3 Gil would eat G1 Gil up. Like he it's no match. Like he just looks so good. Like I'm just astonished with how they could have transformed a really unlikable character like Gil and make him look this good. And so far, you know, we haven't really gone to know him too much, you know, his personality in the series. He just had a cameo, but I mean, so far I think they will have also adjusted his actual character, and they will have him better written as a character. Here's to hoping. But I had to, he's an exception. I had to put him up top because I just think the actual execution of the design on him is really something else. He just looks really amazing. There's only 2 spots left, so you basically know who's in the first spot now. But yeah, in the second spot, we have Deuce Gorgon. He would have been in the first spot, but I feel like we need to know a little bit more about Deuce. Like he's had a few episodes where he's had a lot to do, where he's had some speaking lines, but I feel like the one episode where he has like really he is in the spotlight is the What You Deuce episode segment, where he turns everyone into rock candy. You remember that? It's on YouTube, like a segment of the episode. That's where we get to hear his mom, Medusa. That's where we get to see more of like what the snakes actually, like the power they hold over him, like the influence. That's really interesting stuff. And I feel like also the idea of the 7 snakes being like a representation of the 7 sins is it's ingenious writing. So he has a ton of potential, and so far he's had solid development and like a foundation as a character, but Not quite enough to make it to the first spot. We need to know a little bit more about Deuce, and I'm hoping that in the one episode that's going to come out in the future, where he apparently has like twin sisters, I'm hoping that in that episode we'll get to know him a little bit more, his family dynamic, and maybe we'll get to see his moms, because he has two moms. So I'm really hoping, because he's really close. Like we know a little bit about him, but I just feel like we need to know more about him. He needs to have more to do. He needs to be more integral to the story. Because I do feel like he is so far just like just the boy character that's like, because we need a boy character, and here's Deuce, because even though he is in the intro song, he's like the fourth character that they show in front of the school at the end of the theme song. Like it's him, Draculaura, Claudine, and Frankie. So they make it look like that those four characters are like one group, like they're the main characters. But in reality, like Deuce really does fall behind, unfortunately. Like while there is a good balance between Draculaura storylines, Frankie storylines, Claudine's storylines, Deuce really does fall behind, unfortunately. So again, here's to hoping they give him more to do in that one episode where they introduce the twin sisters that he has now, apparently, because I feel like he has a ton of potential. They just need to use him more efficiently, and just write him, actually like realize his potential better. And lastly, in first place, of course, we have none other than, you guessed it, Claude Wolf. Now, I for sure thought at one point Deuce was going to be in first place, just because, Deuce is the quintessential Monster High Manster. He's the quintessential boy. He was the first boy doll to come out. He was the first character in G1. So, I kind of thought, but then, of course, thinking about it, nope, Claude has just had so much development and more development and screen time than Deuce, which is kind of shocking, because Deuce has been here since the first episode, but Claude, in the short time that he's been introduced, he's had even more screen time, I feel like, if not the same or a little bit more. Now, I do realize why. It's obviously because, Claude is much more an integral part of the storyline, him being Claudine's brother, and then obviously, since they're siblings, they want to get their mom back. So it's like he is more involved than Deuce has to be. But still, I do find it a little bit unfair to Deuce. Anyways, so it's not about him. It's about Claude. Now, obviously, Claude's design is pretty spot on. It's not even too much different from G1, and he just looks adorable, but it's not even just a design that's really on point. His character, the way he's written, is so perfect. I love the dynamic, how they wrote the relationship with Claudine. They had this whole really big scene in that plant monster episode where they had to escape. They had this whole really heartwarming scene where Claude says, like, I don't want to lose you. Like, I just got to know you. It's a really tear-jerking scene. Like, it's really sweet. And then, of course, Claude got to meet his dad. Like, they just have so many cute moments, like the Wolf family. And so I really love Claude and all his interactions with his family. And he as a character, he is a lovable character. He's very, he's very kind. He's funny. He's cool. He's into sports. He's into dancing. He can sing. Like, girl, he's basically perfect. So I just think he is so far the best written male character so far in G3. Like, I would think Deuce, but he hits home. Like, he hits all the spots. He's funny, he's sweet, he's charming, he can do so many things. He has a great relationship with all his family members. He's making friends quickly. Like, I just feel like the way they wrote him is really spot on for Claude, and even better than G1 Claude, in my opinion. I just feel like he's really good. So that's why he's in my first place for he's in the top spot as the best boy so far in G3. Of course, that can change, but yeah, we haven't really had too many Manster characters. Like, it's only 8 again, like, I think so far. So I do hope we'll get to see more Mansters introduced, and we'll get more development for the Manster characters that we already have in the show. Like, again, Finnegan, Romulus, Barchimedes, Deuce, Heath, Gil. Like, there's so many characters that they can work with already and make them even more likable. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot again, but shout out to John. They commented and I forgot to shout out in my last video, so here it is now. Once again, I have talked for way too long, but I hope y'all still enjoyed. Let me know what you think of my ranking down below and what is your ranking as well. Leave a like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you haven't already. Become a member today as well, so you don't miss out when I post more content like this coming your way daily and keeping you up to date with all the adulty you love. Stay safe, be kind. I hope this next time. Stay PG. Kisses.